Hey guys, this is another episode of Learning Through the Issues. So while my family and I were going through our challenges, while we were facing it, we were told not to say anything. Whenever we would hear or see something, we were instructed not to bring it up with the person that we wanted to bring up the situation with. And so it not being able to say anything began to take a heavy toll on us. And so we started to react to little foolish things. And because we were unable to address the thing that we actually really wanted to address. And in reacting to the little things, it just started making things blow out of proportions and making the situation worse. So in the midst of it, and while the situation started to escalate, we were still encouraged to don't say anything, hush your mouth, don't bring it up. And because of that, we all kind of started to shut down. And we shut down until, you guessed it, Sharon started to trip. I was so absolutely angry. Like, I would be driving down the road and I will just start to scream and to curse and to start hitting the steering wheel and blowing the horn. I was so mad. And I remembered somebody hit me a bad driver time and I whined down my glass and I started to scream and cuss them. I was behaving bad. Yeah, I had road rage. And after the episode where I was screaming at a pedestrian for just doing some idiotic pedestrian stuff, just jumping off the road, I almost bounced her. I pulled my head back inside and I was like, girl, what is wrong with you? This is not you. And the truth is, having the road rage started to become comforting because it allowed me to express how I was feeling about a situation that I couldn't address. And somebody else was on the receiving end of my anger that had nothing to do with that. Because honestly, if I'm driving, if you know me while I'm driving, I'm too caught up in my singing and my enjoying myself to even be too angry. But I was. And so as I sat with myself and did some internal inspection, as one would and should do when they have done something completely out of character, I asked myself the question, why are you behaving like this? This is not you. And as I asked myself the question, the answer came. The silence is killing you. And it wasn't physically killing me, although maybe there is a possibility that continued silence could create a physical issue. But what it was doing was killing the bubbly, patient, very wonderful young lady and creating a monster. And I don't like her too much. So I decided, before we really turn into the Incredible Hulk, I have to talk. And so I started to talk. And I began to understand the importance of expressing how I felt about something and what I even thought about it. Even though I still could not bring it up with the individual as yet. Just the ability to be free and say what I wanted to say started to become a relief. Having realized now that a lot of my rage and my outbursts was coming from being silent for so long, and it was years of just situations stacking on top of each other that we really couldn't talk about. When I realized that being quiet about it was causing me to go crazy, I said, I will no longer be silent. Because you know how they say a lot of people with stress just get cancer? It's like, silence not going to get me stressed and cancerous at all. But there is freedom in me speaking. And so if I find freedom, you're not going to chain me and shackle me no more. As a matter of fact, I want to encourage everyone to find the freedom in talking. If you watch my episodes in the past, you'd recognize I say one of two things a lot, which is seek professional help and go for deliverance. The professional help is counseling, and go for deliverance. Why? Because I went through being kind of stiff and weird because I couldn't say a word. And as I think about it, how many of you all out there were told to shut up about something that was going on with you, that it started to affect your mental and you didn't even realize? How many of you having mental health issues because you were forced to be silent? How many young girls, as a matter of fact, I will say there are some of you out there that when you went to your mom or your dad and you said, he's touching me, he's interfering me, you were told to shut up. Don't talk about it, because your parents or your grandparents or whoever didn't want to think that their son or their beloved brother or nephew was interfering with you. So you were told to keep quiet to protect a predator. How many of you young boys actually are rephrasing again? There are a lot of young boys out there that have been told to shut up when they came and they said, she is interfering with me, an adult lady. She is touching me. She is doing things that I'm not happy with. And when they came to you because they're a boy, you say, shut your mouth and enjoy it. There's a man now. But how could they shut their mouth and enjoy their innocence being taken from them? So you were silenced. And you're still silent to this day, not talking about it. And trust me, I know I have heard more than one stories of 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds being interfered with and raped by adult females. And it's not being taken serious because our society is saying, men, that's okay for them. And it's not. We just stole a childhood and tell them to shut up about it. They're dying on the inside now because they still have not felt the freedom enough to talk about it. There are many of us out there that were told when we're trying to explain our situation and what's going on, why we made a decision to our parents, and they just didn't want to hear anything, so they beat us and tell us, shut up. We are the adults, you are the child, shut your mouth and listen. How much times you get that? Over and over. Shut your mouth. Don't do it. Shut your mouth. Don't talk to the person in authority. Shut your mouth. You disobey, licks in your tail. Don't talk. And I think that a lot of parents have scarred and silenced their children and created silent adults that are now struggling to articulate how they feel, or even struggling to defend a position against their boss, which they probably are very right. But they can't say it because all they know is to be quiet. That's on one end of the spectrum. There is another end of the spectrum that says, I was told to shut up so much, I am not shutting up now. So I will cuss you, because I am not going to be quiet and take no silence no more. Silence is killing people. And you know what is interesting? I go back to parents, right? I ain't attacking your parents. I love y'all. But sometimes we silence our children and saying it's correcting. But how could it be correcting when you don't even know what was really going on in their mind? I'll give you an example. So I have a young lady that I take care of. I love her with my whole heart, right? She's my next child, right? And she did something. And I was like, that the dumbest crap. Okay, all right. Why did you do that? I asked her. And she began to explain something to me that made me realize if I had beaten her, because what she did was just dumb and disobedient, I would never have realized that what she had was a mindset issue toward that thing. So because I asked her and I gave her the freedom to talk to me about what it is was going through her mind when she did it, I was able to correct a mindset and tell her that what she did was wrong. I didn't shut her up or shut her down. I corrected a mindset, and I could have only done it because I did not silence her and tell her, I am the adult, don't tell me nothing. We correcting people, sometimes we correct children. They don't even know why they get in the licks because you did not tell them, you didn't understand why it is they did it. And they collecting licks and getting angry with the licks because they feel justified in what they did. So you didn't actually correct them. You just silenced the child and made them angry. And you know what will happen? They start growing up and not saying anything. Just making a decision and just saying, I'm going to live with the consequence of it. If I get licks, I get licks. But it's not wrong to them. All they know is I will get licks. I'm a teacher. And there was a time I was in school. And I heard this young boy speaking to his mom. And he said to her, you're not going to listen to me anyway. And that broke my heart. Because I recognize a silenced child, little boy about 8 years, going to be a silent adult man. So now, I asked myself the question, why it is we keep silencing people? Why do we keep silencing kids? And here is what I think, and I would like you all to put it in the comments below what you all think as well. We silence them because, one, what they say is challenging our belief system and what we thought to be true. And if you're a Christian, sometimes your belief and traditions actually not even founded in the word. I'm going to just drop that right there and just leave it alone. You're challenging my beliefs, and I don't want you to do that. So, you know what? Shut up, because I don't want you to challenge my belief. I also think that we silence them because what we have to say, what they have to say, is a topic that's uncomfortable for us. You know, when I was in church, I remember hearing this a lot. Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't ask that. We don't talk about that. Why? That's what they're talking about in school. Why it still have churches that are afraid to talk about sex in the church? Why is that a taboo thing? So we're uncomfortable talking about some topics. We also, as I mentioned before, we also silence people to protect oppressors and predators. And in the case with myself and our family, we were silenced to protect other people's feelings. And in my head, why are we protecting their feelings? They don't even care about us. Why are we protecting their feelings? And while their feelings are being protected, I am deteriorating. You see me now, because I refuse to be an angry person, because I refuse to have any mental health issues, because I refuse to get sick off of being quiet, off of holding it in. I refuse to trip anymore. I don't stay silent. But what I do know is that time and place, just like with the young lady, she's opinionated and I love it. But what I teach her now, not to shut her up, what I have to teach her is when and where and how you say things. I ain't shutting her up because I don't think she's rude. She's actually quite brilliant and says a lot of things that makes me think. Sometimes I have to say to her, I have to go and research that, girl. But I'm not going to tell her to shut up. I am not taking her voice away from her because I want to know what's going on in her mind. Because the truth is, a lot of times we don't have people to hear what is going on in our mind, and we are just shut down. I don't want that for her. I don't want that for any of my students. I don't want that for any of you all who are listening to me. And so, please, I beg you, because I know it have some people that holding on to a lot of things because they were told to just leave it alone, or they were told to shut up and keep it in your head to protect somebody that's hurting them. Come out and talk. Say it. Even if you can't face the person that harassed you, that's okay. Find somebody and talk about it. Find a counselor. Find a pastor. You just need to get it off your chest before it becomes something that makes you sick. Your childhood is affecting you and you don't want to talk about it. Don't stay in that silence, because you know what I realize about the silence too? When you don't say something, you start to kill your own purpose. With the silence also comes a lot of fear. Because sometimes I think adults, myself, we are afraid to hear what you have to say because it may affect me in a way that I don't want it to. But it's time to stop being afraid of if somebody's feelings will get hurt. Because you are hurting and you're dying and you're crying while they are going about all honky-dory, living their life and hurting others. If you don't open up and you keep yourself shut in, you can begin to die too. And some people, the silence kills physically, and some people, it kills a part of them. And just like I said, it started to kill the bubbly and effervescent person that I was. And it started to make me angry all the time. That the silence started to affect me so much. Sometimes I had to force a smile on my face. I didn't feel like smiling. But don't let the silence kill who you are. Don't let the silence take away your future. Don't let it take your body. Don't let the silence take your mind. Open up. And to the people that are silencing others, could you please stop? Like, seriously? You're affecting a society. You are affecting families because you are telling people to disregard their feelings. Stop, please. Let them talk about it. To the parents that telling their children, shut up, I am the adult and you are the child. Could you chill? I am an advocate for corporal punishment. My cousin calls me the Hittite. Absolutely. But does it make sense beating the children if they don't know what they're getting licked for? If you allow them to talk, you start to see what's going on in their minds. And a lot of the times is the mindset that needs to be corrected. So please, do not let the silence kill you. Come out of your silence. I pray. I've been there and it's hard to talk. But I see how much it made a family deteriorate. I see how much it made individuals break down. And so I pray you loosen your tongue and you come out of your fear and tell mommy or daddy or parent or whoever or child without feeling like you have to protect their feelings, what it is you think about something. I hope you take the leap and just start to express it, not in anger, but expressing to find freedom and expressing to find life.